Into the ropes and off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Got to hold this just a minute. You want a little bit more?
I'm a real heavyweight champion.
Gotta be the best of me. More to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling.
Nicole, the 10 pounds of gold championship has existed in a certain product.
That canvas pretty hard, and look at Buddy going to work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Welcome back to another episode of TEW 2020, Billy Corgan's NWA. We are here for our semi-finals for the Croc Cup as we barrel down towards the NWA Great American Bash, because in our universe, somehow we own it. So we have like 2 shows left before the Bash, I think. If we look at this here, basically we have the semifinals tonight, then another round of voting where you guys will vote for who wins the finals, and then at the finals, that team will, in addition to getting a contract, will get a shot at the belts themselves. And I think we're also going to do probably a loser's bracket after this. So it'll be another small tournament. It won't be a major staple, and it's probably just gonna be one that I don't know yet whether I'm just gonna book it or whether we're gonna do another round of Discord voting. So let me know what you guys want. The Discord voting's fun, but sometimes it becomes like a bigger deal than it needs to be. But we'll do a loser bracket, and the winner of the loser's bracket will also get a contract with NWA. So we'll bring 2 new teams aboard. Our tag team division could use a couple extra hands anyways, and having 2 teams showing up could be a big deal. And maybe that's the way we could sneak FTR in, or somebody else. Who knows? Because obviously there's a lot of twists and turns going on in terms of who showed up in this tournament and also who's stuck around. We have, of course, some interesting matches tonight. Some very interesting ones that I did not expect to get there with. We have Warhausen versus Contra Unit. Who would have thought that these two would have been in the semifinals, right? And 2 guys, 1 tag, who I probably should have eliminated round 1, still here. It's the Rock and Roll Express. Okay, so who knows where this goes? All my favorites are gone, and so it's really going to be a matter of seeing where the finals are going to be, because at this round, I'm going to be picking the semifinals. So you guys will get to pick the finals and ultimately the winner, but I will be picking the 2 that go there. So this is very much like if you ever have friends that refuse to pick where they want to go out to eat. This is like the elimination game, where you just start removing options until there's only one left. But in this case, it's wrestling tag teams. And ultimately, the goal, I think, is to annoy me. But now it's my turn to annoy you all, so I will pick my winners. Now, in addition to that, we have some minor morale issues, nothing major. And we do have a final month for our broadcasting deals. I think I'm going to wait until after the Great American Bash just to give us the most momentum going into negotiations, but we are going to have to look at either renewing our USA contract for our TV show and our Fight TV, or moving on somewhere else entirely. I don't hate the idea of just moving on somewhere else, because we're not really making money on YouTube at all. Very little. Let's see, ticket sales, broadcast revenue, like I don't know, 1,500 from advertising. Like, I feel like we could do better. There's definitely probably options out there for us in terms of who to pick. Let's just take a look at who is willing to negotiate, possibly. You all broadcasters who are, let's say, anybody in the US that is willing to negotiate. So, we're looking for something that's not as small as tiny here for our share. And there's not a lot of options. Like, very small is better, I guess. But ultimately, there's not a huge groundswelling of support for us here in terms of who we can actually join. You know, Major League Wrestling. What are these guys? A commercial terrestrial channel on Ion TV. So, you know, that might be an option, right? New deal for Power. I don't even know what they would be willing to give us or where. And their expectations seem to be pretty high. I think they're only willing to give us deal that long. So only giving us a short run and pretty much only the graveyard shift or maybe early evening. And we would have to pay money per show for that. So we're not getting good deals here. So what we're really going to hope for is that we end up making some momentum in Great American Bash. I mean, worst comes to worst, we stick around with YouTube for another 6 months and Fight TV. It's not like we're strapped for cash. We are making money. But in terms of growth, a bigger audience would move us along faster. Maybe we do pay money a month. I don't know. We'll look at it. We're going to have to look at what we're looking at once we get past our next pay-per-view. So let's go ahead. Let's sim on over to the next show and get the semifinals done and move on to the finals of the Croc Cup. All right, we're here on Tuesday. We are ready for a show. I should probably have looked to see if anybody is missing that we need, because we are, I believe, filming tonight. Obviously, we've been changing it quite a bit. We are filming on Tuesday this week. Okay, so we had popped this up earlier. I probably shouldn't have looked at it. Ace Austin and Phoenix. Not a big deal. Austin will probably not be debuting yet. I think we're probably going to debut him at Great American Bash. Still not sure what I'm going to do with him, but I'm probably going to push him in a big way. Do not worry. We will be doing something with him. There's a groundswell of support for a tag team called Smoking Aces. But I don't know. I think what we'll go with is we'll just go with the Ace Austins and have him and Austin Gunn tag team. Clearly, that's where the fans really want it. So, and that'll give our contingent of Austin Gunn fans a lot of support. I don't really know what we're gonna do with them, but we'll do something fun with them. I'm trying to figure out. In the future, I can imagine him being a major competitor in the NWA scene, especially as we rotate other people out. And it's gonna be about giving him the right build up to be legitimate. I'm sure, I don't even know where he starts for us, but I would imagine he's going to start at either star or recognizable. What am I looking for here? Let's reset that. Oh, no, I want to check my roster, not the world's roster. Ace Austin is well known, so pretty high up in the upper mid cards, and with 35 popularity all around, I figure we could probably move him up pretty quickly with a good boost of momentum. Auto booked full sale. I still haven't changed it. Every day I say I'm going to change it, and I keep on forgetting. One day I'll remember. Select this venue, please. I don't want Triple H to knock on the door and murder us for being his promotion. Backstage incident, we got Ricky Starks and Scott Steiner probably giving off. Oh, Wrestler's Court. Ooh. Starks was brought before Wrestler's Court accused of making a mess backstage and not cleaning it up. The judge, Scott Steiner, issuing a drink punishment for them. So we had a 47 for the last show. Very good. Some bad booking decisions in terms of placement for our main event. We have to remember that Tessa Blanchard can be a main eventer. And probably would have been better placed here than that Josephus match, but it is what it is. Overall, 47's nothing to cry about. Before we get going, let's try again just to, you know what, I'm going to actually do an open forum. There's some people that are a little upset about some minor things, and I figure an open forum will give them a bit of a boost. A lot of irritations about, like, botched angles for the most part, so it lowered our backstage rating a little bit. I can't imagine it's that low. Right now we're sitting at 100, so, you know, whatever. We are pretty much fine in terms of that. I would not be worried at all, but it hopefully helped them a little bit. Yeah, I see a lot of those morale issues are gone. They got to air out their grievances. We took no negative effect to it at all, and it felt like they were being heard, so that's important. All right, let's book the show, book our semifinals, see where the Croc Cup leads to, and I'll catch you guys on the flip for another episode of Power. All right, guys, we are ready for NWA Power. Got one pre-show in the bag early. Not much else for the pre-show. Just kind of want to give somebody else some opportunity to work. And we are pretty full, about 64 minutes. We're going over our 60-minute allotted time. Most of this is angles, though, so we'll see how that goes. No booking analysis problems, so we should be okay. But definitely a heightened amount of little angles and promos as we go into our go-home show of NWA Power into Great American Bash. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what the show has for us. We start off with our pre-show match, Madison Eagles and Nicole Matthews in a tag team match versus Skylar and Marty Bell. Actually does pretty okay, 36. Madison Eagles and Nicole Matthews defeat Skylar and Marty Bell in 7 minutes. Trying to build up a little bit of like a tag team thing between the two of them. Obviously, I think it was Madison Eagles had cut a promo a couple weeks ago against the women's division, and it seems like she has maybe found an ally here, and we give them something to do since they're off. Probably not going to be on the Great American Bash that much. After, though, we start the show off with Eddie Kingston, who comes to the ring with a microphone in one hand and a ladder in his other. He sets up the ladder in the center of the ring and starts cutting a promo. He says, "I said I wasn't done. Well, we ain't done yet. Eli Drake beat me a month ago by being a little snake. And I get it. I respect it even. But I ain't done with it yet. Quick 3 count doesn't put the king out. You want to be royalty? Well, you gotta have a throne. And this right here," and he points up to the ladder, "this is how we do it in the streets where I'm from. This is how we do it in a real wrestling promotion. 1 ladder, 1 title, no quick countouts, no pulled tights bullshit. It's just you, me, and a title hanging from the sky. You want to put... And if you need it, and you really want it, you gotta put me in the ground before you can get up there and actually claim it. So I'll see you at Great American Bash, and I'll be looking down at you." So, unfortunately, Kingston was apparently very poor when trying to improvise dialogue, which is weird to me, considering probably his best attribute is his ability to cut a promo. But good to know. We'll make sure to script him in the future. Got the crowd hotter for start the show. Got a 34. Afterwards, Billy Corgan comes out, which surprisingly gets a 30. And before Eddie Kingston can leave, Billy Corgan comes out with a microphone and from the sidelines kind of interrupts him. He says, "Eddie, I appreciate your desire to become the Alliance champion, but you had an opportunity already, and unfortunately you failed. Now, I still have booking power here, and I'm definitely willing to give you another shot at the title, but the Alliance title is about equal opportunities. It's not about nepotism or favoritism. You can have that ladder match, but there must be a third opponent, somebody new to have a shot. So tonight, we will have a battle royal and 10 hand-picked competitors that I think have potential will get their shot, and the winner will be the third man in your ladder." So, you know, Kingston, not super thrilled by this, but gives us a battle royal tonight with a lot of people getting to compete, and they will be added into the ladder match. The current champions for the tag team belts, Marshall and Ross Von Erich, have a interview at the interview booth with Gavin Loudspeaker, and they just ask them, hey, we're got the semifinals going on. Who do you think actually of these 4 competitors have a shot? Who do you want to face? And they say the Rock and Roll Express. They say that they're NWA classics, and they would love to have an opportunity to fight them. And it does okay. It's like 33. It's nothing special. But it is time to get into the first of our 2 Croc Cup matches. So we got 2 guys, 1 tag versus the Rock and Roll Express. 2 teams I did not expect to get here, but here we are. So let's go ahead and get to the screen and see who wins and who moves on to the finals. It's a match that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, unfortunately. And 2 guys, 1 tag defeat Rock and Roll Express in 8 minutes. Josh Woods submits Robert Gibson with an ankle lock, and Silas Youngs was head and shoulders above everybody else. They move on to the finals, and they will be facing the winners between Warhausen and the Contra Unit. Silas Young had a 51, Josh Woods had a 41, Robert Gibson had a 30, and Ricky Morton had a 32. Match was poorly paced, unfortunately. It was a work the crowd match. I did not expect the Eddie Kingston angle to get them so hot, but they did. And that moves us on to said Battle Royal, who we have such great competitors as, this is really just the lower mid-card crew here. Austin Gunn, Caleb Conley, Marty Scroll, Matt Cross, Ricky Ruffin, Ricky Starks, Royce Isaacs, Tim Storm, Wheeler Yuta, and Zicky Dice. Big old 10-minute match. Does pretty good. It's out of 45. Got the crowd even hotter. And in a surprise turn of events, Tim Storm wins the Battle Royal. The final 4 were Zicky Dice, Caleb Conley, and Austin Gunn. Zicky Dice being the final elimination, and Austin Gunn somehow getting the most eliminations in the match. The big push. I heard you guys. You said you wanted an Austin to win. You wanted Austin to be a big star. You said that, like, if you watch Impact, Austin needs to be a star. So I was like, okay, we're going to make Austin a big star. So that's what we're going to do. Had a 45, and this means that Tim Storm will be the 3rd competitor in our Alliance ladder match. And after that, we have a promo. Flip Gordon and Pillman Jr. and Uneasy Alliance come out, and they issue the stakes to their matches against the Cult of Josephus. Both of them are having separate matches on the Great American Bash, but they both want to call their shot. They talked about what they want to do. Pillman issues a no DQ match between him and Josephus to settle the score, and Flip Gordon wants a cage match with Colt Cabana to finally isolate the Colt and hopefully deconvert Colt back to the light. This does okay. It's not great. We actually lost heat for the saving of Colt Cabana because Flip Gordon's not that great in a microphone work. Pillman's just staying the course, but we do have 2 matches for them to do at the Great American Bash. And in our final semi-final match, we have Contra Unit versus Warhausen. Fan favorite Warhausen. I kind of expect them to go here all the way. Contra Unit was a surprise who defeated FTR and all their competitors. Guys wanted to take out FTR real early, huh? Yeah, well, this is what you get. Let's go to the screen. Decent match. Contra Unit defeats Warhausen in 9 minutes, 57 seconds. Jacob Fatu pins Danhausen with a Samoa drop after a distraction from Scott Steiner ringside. All that bullshit from Danhausen paying it up forward here now as Scott Steiner comes out and deliberately disrupts the Crockett Cup match and forces Danhausen to lose the match and lose the tournament. Contra Unit moves on to the finals. Fatu had a 57, Joey Machete had a 37, Danhausen had a 38, Warhorse had a 36. We gain heat for the Hungry for Shoney's storyline as Danhausen is propelled deep into a feud with Scott Steiner. Fatu actually seemed off his game. We get a 45, great match though, and Contra Unit move on to face 2 guys, 1 tag for the 2020 Croc Cup and chance to have a title shot and a contract with the NWA. Afterwards, we have Scott Steiner and Danhausen brawling. Scott Steiner ends up grabbing Danhausen and superplexing him from outside the ring, off the apron, into the ground. It seems they have come to blows, and clearly leading to an inevitable conclusion as they fight, probably at Great American Bash for the Shoney's Championship. In our main event, we have an exhibition match between the 2 competitors that are going to be facing off in the main event at Great American Bash. We got champion Brodie Lee versus the challenger Miroslav. It's supposed to just be a nice exhibition match that ends up going to a draw after a double disqualification because these 2 guys cannot keep their hands off of each other. It's a brutal match that ends in a double DQ, leaving no clear winner, and just tons of animosity and viciousness. Brodie Lee had a 72, Miroslav had a 68, and Brodie Lee ended up actually taking a stunt bump off the stage into a table. Both got disqualified at the same time. The match was just too hot to actually contain, and the refs called it off, and ultimately led to the entire locker room having to come out, all the staff trying to pull the 2 apart as they brawl all the way through their double DQ. They do not care. This is going to be a problem because if they fight like this in their main event, there will not be a match. It will just be a unsanctioned brawl. Something we'll have to see if we can deal with going into the Great American Bash. If there's something the management can do to kind of make this work. But very vicious end of the show and sort of our go-home segment. Leaves us with 61. Pretty good main event and main segment. Hopefully this match, this might get us up to past 50 even. Yeah, it does. 55. Increases our popularity in 18 regions. Fantastic show. Great main event. And we have our 2 finals champions, or challengers. We have Contra Unit versus 2 guys, 1 tag. Never would have thought to say that when I started the Croc Cup. I honestly thought it was pretty much a sure shot for FTR all the way to the finals. I honestly, if you know what I thought was going to happen, is I thought Rock and Roll Express was going to be the troll vote that you guys would have got to the finals, or try to get to the finals. Never would I have expected all of the other stuff in between, but ultimately we are led to these 2 squaring off. I actually like both of these teams. I like Contra Unit a lot, and definitely would fit in well, but, Silas Young, Josh Woods also can definitely have a place in NWA. Be curious to see who ends up getting the contract. And like I said, any of the teams that lost will probably get another shot, because we're going to be doing like a losers bracket. I think we're going to do the Circle Squared tournament. So gives them an opportunity to potentially kind of get into the roster through another means. Overall, this seemed like this was a great show. Let's see how the reception was on the main screen. All right, let's see what the reception was. I have to imagine it was great. It was excellent. Went down very well. Makes sense to me. What did Dark do? Got a 0.01 rating. Interesting. I don't see our rating here, unfortunately. But, man, I wish we were getting 2,200 fans, even though main event was just getting an okay. Man, Pillman has Kale Colony is unsafe in the ring. Fire him before he gets crippled. Okay, interesting. Our figures are 0.04. We got 31,000 viewers for that go-home show. That's pretty damn good, actually. Can't really complain about that at all. Nothing really worrying here on the side. Yeah, like, look at that. We're making money. Like, we're gonna be going right back out of our negative pretty soon, I think. Once we get that more merch. I think the merch is probably going to be our big winner here. Well, and that and the sponsorships. Broadcast revenue is not doing great. We're making about like $1,500 a show. It's not horrible. But definitely something we hopefully are going to be looking into to maybe get a boost out of. A new contract. Still at 42 for our main location. We have a long way to go to get our popularity up. We need a 59 in our home region. It's going to take a hell of a long time, unfortunately, unless we get a big boost from a really great event, which we're hoping that Great American Bash is. But everywhere else is slowly crawling up, though, which is really great. So soon, I think we're going to be seeing, Mid-Atlantic was probably going to be at the 40s. We're probably going to be seeing some of that spillover doing well for us as we start to boost our popularity up. So that is it for me. Now it's your turn. Once this debuts, there will be a poll on our official Discord, and we'll let that run for a week. Please join the Discord to pick your winner for the Croc Cup. Whoever you pick is going to be the champion, or the challengers for the champion, but they will get their contract signing. They will win the tournament. Gonna be a big one for them. And it's all gonna be up to you guys. And then what we'll do after that is we're gonna probably do that circle squared. Let me know if you want that to be another vote, which I have no problem with. We can do that entire thing as a vote. I don't even mind. And we will, sign a contract for the winner of that. But I think it was an interesting tournament all the way around. But what a hell of a weird final. I never would have thought that this would have been where we were led to, but that is where it went. So next episode will be Great American Bash, so I will join you guys for that one. But again, please make sure to vote for your favorites to win for the finale of the Croc Cup. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.